So you're thinking about a rebrand, a new domain, a fresh start. It's exciting, right? But here's the thing. It's also probably one of the single riskiest things you can do for your website. You see, if you get this wrong, you're not just changing your address. You might be erasing your entire history. I mean, just think about that for a second. All that trust, all the authority, every single ranking you've spent years building, it could all just vanish. And I'm not being dramatic here. This is literally what happens when a domain change is treated like a simple cosmetic update. But good news, it absolutely doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so let's get one thing crystal clear right from the start. A brand change and a domain migration are not the same thing. A brand change, that's like painting your house a new color. It's what your visitors see. A domain migration, though, that's changing the foundation of the house. It's a fundamental structural change to the one thing Google uses to identify you, your URL. Getting this distinction wrong is, well, it's the first step toward total disaster. Yeah, this is so much more than just a simple move. It's a high-stakes transfer of your most priceless digital asset, your website's authority. And the key to making sure it all gets to the new place safely isn't about speed or some fancy new tool. It's all about eliminating one single thing. This quote, this gets right to the heart of it. You see, search engines like Google, they don't actually fear change. They deal with it millions of times a second. What they fear is uncertainty. When you change domains, you're creating a massive amount of uncertainty. So your entire job from start to finish is to remove it, every last bit of it. You really have to put yourself in Google's shoes here. From its perspective, your shiny new domain is a complete unknown. It's a stranger. And to trust that stranger, Google has to get clear answers to these three questions. Is this the same business, just with a new name? Where did all the old pages I used to know and trust go? And, the big one, should I pass all that hard-earned authority from the old site to this new one? Every single thing you do during this process is about giving Google a loud, clear, confident yes to all three. Honestly, the success or failure of your entire move is pretty much decided before you even pack a single box. Think about it. You can't forward your mail if you don't know all of your old addresses, right? So the very first step is to create a perfect, complete blueprint of your old location. And this is exactly why just exporting a list of pages from Google Search Console is never enough. It's almost guaranteed to miss what we call orphaned URLs. These are like forgotten rooms in your old house. Maybe you don't use them anymore, but they still exist, and more importantly, they might have some real treasure inside, like powerful backlinks pointing to them. Forgetting these pages means you're just throwing away authority you worked hard to get. This is the ground truth. It's as simple as that. Before you do anything else, you absolutely must perform a full crawl of your old site. This complete inventory, this map of every single page, every PDF, every asset, this becomes the foundation for everything that comes next. It's your insurance policy against leaving value behind. Okay, so once you have that perfect map, the actual move comes down to a pretty simple framework. Just think of these as the 3 golden rules for giving Google a consistent, trustworthy story about what's happening. We're going to break each of these down because getting them right isn't just a good idea, it's totally non-negotiable. This is how you build that bridge for all your authority to safely cross from the old domain over to the new one. So let's start with that forwarding address. This is the absolute backbone of the whole operation. It's the official technical signal you send to search engines that says, hey, you know that page you used to know and trust? Well, it lives over here now, and it's staying there for good. The 301 redirect is your best friend in this whole process. Seriously, it is the digital version of filing a permanent change of address form with the post office. Any other kind of redirect, like a temporary 302, just screams uncertainty. And remember, uncertainty is the enemy. So every single URL from your old sitemap needs a direct, one-to-one, permanent 301 redirect to its new home. No exceptions. And listen, when they say permanent, they really mean it. These redirects aren't just some temporary scaffolding you can take down in a few weeks. They are the bridge that carries your authority. They need to stay active for at least a year, often way longer, to make sure every last bit of value from old backlinks and bookmarks gets transferred over time. All right, so you've set up the mail forwarding for the outside world. Great! Now you need to make sure your own house is in order. Relying on your own redirects for your site's navigation is just, well, it's inefficient. And worse, it sends really confusing mixed signals to Google. This slide just illustrates the danger perfectly. Look at the left, a clear signal. The old page redirects, and the new page says, yep, I'm the official one now. Google gets it. Easy. But on the right, you see a conflicting signal. The page redirects, but the new page's code still points back to the old URL as the official one. And what does Google do? It says, whoa, hold on. I'm getting mixed messages here. I'm just going to wait. And that waiting, that's where rankings go to die. So the key takeaway here is alignment. You have to go through your news site with a fine-tooth comb. All of your internal links need to point directly to the new pages. All of your canonical tags have to point to the new URLs themselves. And all that special schema code you have that describes your business, it has to be completely scrubbed of any mention of the old domain. Everything has to point in one single direction. Okay, with your on-site signals perfectly lined up, the very last step is to reinforce the move with signals from trusted external sources. This is what validates everything you've just done and helps Google trust the change much, much faster. And the most important announcement you can make is right here, inside Google Search Console. This tool is where you formally tell Google, hey, the move is done, it was intentional, and it's permanent. Now, this reinforces your redirects, but, and this is super important, it does not replace them. You still need those 301s. This is just that final layer of confirmation. Okay, you've launched. The technical heavy lifting is done. Now the hardest part begins, watching and waiting and not panicking. There's going to be some turbulence. Volatility is normal, it's expected. Freaking out and making rash changes is the single biggest threat to your success right now. So instead of panicking, you monitor, you become a detective. You live in your Search Console dashboard for a bit, and you ask these questions. Are my old pages being properly replaced by the new ones in Google's index, or are they just disappearing? Is Google crawling my new site more and more? And you keep a close eye on your branded traffic. A big, sustained drop here is a huge red flag that something is fundamentally broken. And please, have realistic expectations. This timeline right here is pretty typical. The first couple of weeks, they're going to be choppy. You'll see both old and new URLs in search results. It'll be messy. Then, over the next couple of months, things should start to stabilize. And the full consolidation of your authority, that can take several months. So patience is not just a virtue here, it's a requirement. So when we pull this all together, it really comes down to a fundamental shift in how you think about this process. You are not starting over. You are not hitting the reset button. You are simply translating your history to a new home. Let's end on this critical idea. Your entire goal is to translate your existing authority, all that trust, all those links, your whole history, to a new address. When every single signal you send tells this one consistent story, Google really has no reason to doubt you. So as you plan your own move, just ask yourself this one question. A successful migration is all about building a solid, reliable bridge using clear redirects and perfectly consistent signals. Anything less than that, any hint of uncertainty, and you risk burning that bridge down, leaving years of your hard-earned authority stranded on the other side.